Hey, so today I just wanted to go over classifications for supports. These are going to be like the most common like servants that people talk about when you're using a farmer or a DPS. Uh Now there's no official classification for any of these. Like Castoria in game is not listed as the primary support. There is no like secondary, tertiary. This is just me and like my thought process for how these servant function. This is DTL's list, by the way. It does have like most of the servants I probably would have put on this list. I think Neuride arguably should be on here, and probably a couple others. But this is not a breakdown of every single one of them and why they are. This isn't a tier list. Like, this is just like me explaining, so future videos people know what I'm talking about. So your primary supports, something all of these servants have in common: they have a 50% card buff. I mean, yes, 50% card buff at and at least 50% battery you can give to any one servant in particular. These are the servants that allow you to do any kind of like loot farming that is like actually standard, like double Castoria, double Scotties, double Vitch, double Oberon. Oh, know what? Chloe should be on here too. Yeah, that's who else is missing. Summer Chloe. I'll get into that a little bit later though. Actually, that's a good question. Where does Chloe actually play? You know what? By my own rules, she would be secondary. All right. Yeah, because you'd at least be using one of these servants with her. All right. Yeah. So, primary supports. They are your bread and butter. These are the servants you should, if you're farming, these are the servants you should be picking off your support list. Unless you have specifically this specifically applies to Scotty. At least before double Chloe existed. You could mix and match these and pick a support off your friends list, like a actual farmer, with these two. Would it be optimal? Not really, because you'd be giving up Chaldea Tea Time for like 15% bond. Also, reason I'm this elevation is just, I didn't feel like sitting. But yeah, these are the servants you more likely or not, like 9 times out of 10, you're picking these servants for farming. They are very good at what they do. Oh yeah, Sakabi Hime too. Yeah, there's a lot of servants that aren't on this list, but I get it. You can't have everyone on a list like this. Secondary supports. So this one can be a little nuanced because they don't all follow the same rules. But the general ruling is they give some kind of battery. They get, or like it's either 50% battery or 50% card buff, or like mixing all three things, or doing like something that no other servant really can do. So Merlin, Lady Avalon, 20% battery, more for her. Card buffs, supportive MPs. Reigns and Waver both have 50% charges. Some of it is AoE. Tomomo does not have charge, like direct charge, but her MP does reduce cooldowns, gives battery, and she does have the card buff along with MP damage. So that's definitely why I would put her here. Nightingale just got buffed to be able to do this. She's basically mini Vitch in value for her Buster buff, but because she's a Berserker, you can cycle her out very quickly and do not have to like gimp your unit, like keep them 40 out of 50. You can keep her at like max level and she will still go down very, very quickly, like against any kind of boss. And then we have Shufu, who, like, I have Paracelsus and Asclepius here. She's better than both of them for your loot farming, because most of the time you're missing something that these two give. He gives battery and MP gain. He gives MP gain and card buff. Kufu has MP gain, battery, and card buff, and even more utility. So these are servants. You couldn't substitute Nightingale in most farming. Like most servants do not have the kind of batteries to let you get away with that. There are cases you can, but like just not easy. But that's the secondary support. There are units that you would want to have. They can help with looping. They can help with challenge quest stuff, but they're not like the first ones you go to most of the time. Merlin used to be like that, and then we got Vitch. And Waver it's because he is like, he doesn't provide any specific card buff that he would be here. Like same with Rhinus, but they do give like they give very important buffs for any farming, not farming, but like any servant who have like anything they're doing. Then we have the tertiary supports. These are usually not your first choice at all for loop support, like Helena, Caster Jill, Edison. Like you do not see these units used in farming, like almost ever. But depending on your like setup and like how strong of your farmer is, you can get away with these units for farming. I like Pastor Gil with his buff, like him giving the battery, like the AoE 20 and then his own 30. You can use him to either clear a wave, like very similar to Paracelsus, but he also gives like good buffs or art servants like Star Gen, arts buff, and attack up. There is nothing wrong with that. His MP gives crit damage too. Helena, very similar situation. She can do wave clearing. She provides an Omni card buff. Like actually, yeah, Kayron would be on here. Like there's a whole lot of servants that like just would fit this criteria, but just aren't on this list. And it's not ZZL's fault, obviously. Like you literally, like trying to know every single servant in the game that has supportive uses is gonna hurt your brain. Is like, use this as a guide. If you see like a servant has those qualities, then you could decide for yourself what category I would put them. Miss Crane is here very specifically because she is very hard to set up, and in no cases are you ever going to use her by herself. She is always going to be used in conjunction with these other servants. And these two are specifically because they're literally just missing one of the stuff to help you loop. Like obviously Asclepius has a much more important role. And yeah, these servants, you bring them, like especially Anderson. He is so niche for when you need him. His buff helps, but he's very niche and cannot go 0 to 100 by himself. He needs support. Yeah, it's arts buff, star bomb, esports usage, like very high esports usage too. And yeah, so this was just a quick little rundown. I would tell every single person that is playing this game that these are the servants you need to go for the most. These 5 in particular. Now, I constantly do this on stream where I'm not using my own Castoria. Like literally, the only time I ever use my own Castoria is for 90++ farming on Blank Earth, which is so far endgame. And I'm using a cracked MP2 Summer Ibuki. That is the only time I'm ever using double Castoria. And I'm never going all out because I don't need it. Like I'm not using other shit with that. These supports are good for a very good reason. Once your account is strong enough that you don't need them, although for Vitch, Vitch kind of can't get away with it. Like, gotta use conjunction with someone else just for how her system works with cooldown reduction. But yeah, a lot of this is just mixing and matching. These servants are for turning your brain off. These are for you're still kind of turning your brain off, but not really. And these are like big brain supports. If you're using this, you know you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. But either you don't have these units or you just don't care and you're trying to do something else. Which is why you guys see me using 1, 2, 3, 4 for so far. 5. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for so goddamn long, like literally last whole year. It's been nothing but 3-star supports for the most part. All right, thank you guys for watching. Again, sorry for like any issues. Hopefully I am fully back in the swing of things now and hope to start making more regular content than the spotty shit the last 2-3 months. All right, peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.